Welcome to Real Estate Jeopardy, where we are going to test your knowledge of the real estate market in SLO County for the month of August, along with lending trivia. Serena and I are back with Darryl, and we have some intriguing stats to share with you, Jeopardy style.
Great, now let's get ready to jump right into the game. Here are your stats for August from the California Regional MLS. Jen and Darryl, get ready to ring in. Our first category is months of inventory. In August, how many months of inventory did SLO County have?
2 to 3.
On answer.
What is 5 months?
That is correct. It remains at 5 months, which indicates a few more options for buyers than in recent years. This is still low enough to be considered a seller's market.
Moving on to our next category, number of sales. How many residential sales were recorded in August per the MLS?
What is 229 sales?
That's right. It was lower than last year at 283 and considerably lower than the year before in August of 2021 with 401 sales.
Let's shift our focus to median days to sell. In August, what were the days to sell a property?
What is 12 days?
Correct. It's about the same as last month.
Our final category for market update is median sales price. What was the median sales price for residential sales in August?
What is $810,000?
You're absolutely right. Cheers.
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 It slid to $810K versus $830K last month, but remains higher than the median price last year at this time at $805, and higher than the sales price in August of 2021, which was $740K. We've had about $70,000 worth of appreciation in the last 2 years.
Now we'll be adding in a little lending trivia. What is the typical rate for a 30-year fixed loan this week?
Oh, I know that one. So I would say the typical rate on a 30-year fixed conventional loan is probably in the 7.25% to 7.3% range. But there's a pretty wide spread because you have first-time homebuyer enhancements that can take place on the conventional loans. You have FHA loans, which are governmental loans that are government subsidized. They can have lower rates yet in the 6s. And then there's going to be some that are going to price you higher.
It's not all bad news.
It's not all bad news.
What are the highest rates we have seen in 2023?
Unfortunately, I know this one too.
Yeah.
They spiked this week. So we saw rates that were up about 7.5% and some up into the 8% range.
Oh no.
So we had, the last 2 days have been better. Maybe a little bit of a ricochet effect.
What are the highest mortgage rates in history?
I know this one too. So for as long as they've been tracking them, it's probably 1981 when interest rates averaged that year over 16%.
Thanks.
Just to give you some perspective.
I think that's what my parents did when they bought their first house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes back to a time when we had the oil embargo, there were high rates of inflation, and similar challenges as we experienced now. So as compared, we're actually pretty lucky that the rates are not nearly as high as they were back then.
Very true. What is the minimum down payment you need to buy a house?
I know that one. It's 0%.
That's great. That's absolutely true. Especially in this area where we could do USDA loans, VA loans, and in some cases down payment assistance with FHA or conventional financing.
Always good news for the buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that you don't need 20% down. What percentage of your down payment can be a gift or borrowed from your 401k?
I know this one. You probably do too.
I'll let you chime in.
All right, the answer to that one is that the down payment can be 100% gift. So if there's somebody in your life, grandparent, parent, aunt, uncle, that type of thing, brother, sister, that's in a position to help you, down payment can be 100% gift, whether it be an FHA loan with 3.5% down, or a conventional loan 20% or more, or anything in between. It can be a gift. You can borrow from your 401k without causing a taxable event. Go about it that way.
How much can you borrow from your 401k? Is there a cap?
It depends. You really have to talk to your 401k administrator about that.
What is the minimum credit score needed to buy a home?
This could be a trick question. I know this one. So the scale, by the way, goes from 350 up to 850. 850 is unachievable. Top tier credit these days is probably 760 and above. Lenders like it when you have a minimum score of at least 620, because then we can get an automated approval on an FHA loan, for instance, and usually maybe 620, 660 range for a conventional loan. The real answer there is you don't need a FICO score. If you have somebody that's inexperienced with credit, you can create one. You can create a credit history by using alternative credit documentation. That would be cell phone bills, utility bills, and the like. We can provide a supplement and get a score that way and create eligibility for credit. And it can be a manual underwrite rather than automated if necessary.
Great news.
And manual underwrites, we can actually work with credit scores in the 500 range. It's always better if we can consult with the clients up front and help them to get into that 620 range and above.
What is the minimum income required to buy a house?
What is zero? Darryl, am I right?
You are right, actually.
I think there's more to the story, though.
There is more to the story. If you have somebody that's just starting out, maybe you have to be a minimum of 18 years old to own property in California. In addition to that, you could always have a cosigner. So if you have somebody that's just starting out, or maybe they're a student, that type of thing, mom and dad, or another relative could be a cosigner for them. And believe it or not, they don't have to have any income.
Would be a wise choice instead of renting.
Absolutely. It could work well for a college student or anybody just getting started.
Well, that concludes our Real Estate Jeopardy and Lending Trivia for today. Thank you all for staying informed with up-to-date information on our SLO County real estate market. It is clear that the market is ever-changing, and staying informed is crucial for your success.
We hope you enjoyed this rendition and found it informative. Stay tuned for next month's updates on the real estate market. And remember, whether you're buying or selling, aside from your agent and lender, knowledge is your best ally in the world of real estate. Until next time, cheers!
Cheers!
No.